Hello, everyone. Welcome to this story. Today, we will learn English through the amazing story of America. This is not just history. It is a story of people. It is a story of dreams, of courage, of freedom, and of hope. America is a land that many people know. But how did it begin? Who came first? What happened next? And why is the history of America so important for the world? Let me tell you this story, step by step, slowly, clearly, with feeling, so you can learn English and also learn the history of America. America is a big land, very big. Before cities, before cars, before tall buildings, America was full of nature. There were rivers, mountains, forests, lakes, animals everywhere, and people lived there too. These first people are called Native Americans. They are also called indigenous people. They lived in America for thousands of years, long, long before other people came. Native Americans lived in many groups. Each group had its own way of life. Some hunted animals, some grew corn, beans, and squash. Some lived in the forests of the East. Some lived in the Great Plains. Some lived in the deserts of the West. They had many languages, many cultures. They told stories. They sang songs. They believed the land and the sky were full of spirit. For them, the earth was not just land. It was home. It was life. But one day, something changed. Far away, across the ocean, in Europe, people wanted to find new land. They wanted to find gold. They wanted to find spices. They wanted to find a way to Asia. And in the year 1492, one man named Christopher Columbus sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. He thought he had found Asia, but he was wrong. He had found islands near America. This was the start of a new chapter, the start of contact between Europe and America. After Columbus, more Europeans came. The Spanish came to the south. They came to Florida. They came to Mexico. They came to California. The French came too. They went to Canada. They traveled down the Mississippi River. The English came. They came to the East Coast. They made small towns. These towns were called colonies. Life in the colonies was not easy. People had to cut trees, build houses, plant food. The winters were cold. Many died. But still, more people came. They came from England, from Germany, from the Netherlands, from Africa too. But not free. Many Africans were taken by force. They were brought on ships. They were sold as slaves. This was a dark and painful part of America's history. The colonies grew. By the 1700s, there were 13 English colonies on the East Coast. But the people there began to feel unhappy. They had to pay taxes to England, but they could not vote. They had no voice. They said, no taxation without representation. They wanted freedom. They wanted to govern themselves. In 1776, something big happened. Leaders from the colonies met. One man, Thomas Jefferson, wrote the Declaration of Independence. It said, all men are created equal. It said people have rights to life, liberty, and happiness. On July 4th, 1776, the colonies declared independence from England. This was the birth of a new nation, the United States of America. But England did not agree. War began. It was called the Revolutionary War. The American people fought against the British Army. The war was long. It was hard. But the Americans had leaders like George Washington. He became the first great general. He later became the first president. Finally, in 1783, the Americans won. They were free. The United States was young. It was small, just 13 states. But the people had big dreams. They made a constitution. They made rules. They said, we, the people. This was the start of democracy in America, a country where leaders are chosen by the people. After independence, America began to grow. People moved west. They crossed rivers. They crossed mountains. They built farms. They built towns. They wanted land. They wanted gold. This was called westward expansion, but it was not simple. Native Americans lost their land. They were pushed away. Many were killed. Their culture was hurt. This was a sad and painful part of America's growth. In the 1800s, America grew fast. But one big problem remained: slavery. In the South, many people used slaves to work on cotton farms. In the North, many people wanted slavery to end. The country became divided. North and South could not agree. Finally, in 1861, a great war began. The Civil War. The Civil War was the darkest time. Brother fought brother. Father fought son. Over 600,000 people died. The North was led by President Abraham Lincoln. He believed slavery was wrong. He believed the Union must stay together. In 1863, he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. It said slaves were free. Finally, in 1865, the war ended. The North won. Slavery ended. But the wounds were deep. The people had to heal. After the Civil War, America changed. The country began to build. Factories grew. Trains spread across the land. Immigrants came from Italy, from Ireland, from China. They worked hard. They built the railroads. They worked in the factories. They made America stronger. By the late 1800s, America was powerful. Cities grew tall. New inventions came: the telephone, the light bulb, the car. People like Thomas Edison and Henry Ford changed life forever. America was a land of opportunity, a land where people believed they could rise. In the 1900s, America faced new challenges. In 1914, a great war began in Europe. World War I. At first, America stayed out. But later, America joined. They fought in France. They helped end the war in 1918. After the war, America grew richer. It was called the Roaring Twenties. Music, dance, movies, cars, and jazz filled the land. But in 1929, everything crashed. The stock market fell. Millions lost jobs. This time was called the Great Depression. People stood in long lines for food. Life was hard. But America found hope in a new president, Franklin D. Roosevelt. He gave new jobs. He gave new plans. Slowly, the country stood up again. Then came World War II. In 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. America entered the war. American soldiers fought in Europe. They fought in the Pacific. It was the largest war in history. Finally, in 1945, the war ended. America was strong. But the world had changed. After the war, America became a leader in the world. But at home, new struggles began. African Americans wanted equality. For many years, they had faced racism. They had no equal rights. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. spoke with power. He said, "I have a dream." He dreamed of freedom and justice. The civil rights movement changed America forever. In the 1960s, something amazing happened. America went to space. In 1969, Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. He said, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." The whole world watched. America was now not only a land of freedom, but also of discovery. The story of America did not stop. It faced new times: wars, protests, technology, change, the Cold War with the Soviet Union, the fight for women's rights, the computer age, the internet. America kept moving. Today, America is a land of many people. People from every country, every culture, every language. It is called the melting pot. People come with dreams, with hope, with courage. America is not perfect. It has struggles. It has pain. But it also has strength. It has freedom. It has a story that continues. And now, my friend, you know the story of America. From the Native Americans to Columbus. From the colonies to independence. From slavery to freedom. From farms to factories. From war to peace. From the earth to the moon. The history of America is a story of struggle and of hope, a story of tears and of courage, a story of mistakes and of dreams. And that story is still being written today.